They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
It's a raunchy, curse word-laden cartoon that might also be the closest thing to an art film that we've seen as a major studio summer release in years. Alan Adams, The Main Edge.
Sausage Party takes racism and prejudice and throws them into its existential meat grinder to explore identity, tolerance, and religion in surprisingly intelligent fashion. Brian Truitt, USA Today.
If it takes a film about an animated sausage and a bun, laced with toilet humor and extreme sexual puns, to provide a modern-day existential critique of the lunacy of human nature and modern racial and religious discourse, then I'm all for it. Kiva Stratton Rescue, Australia.
The film surprises you because apart from being hysterically jaw-dropping funny, its ideologies and themes throughout are somehow inexplicably meaningful. Leah Sidney, Showbiz 411.
Not again! Oh, Jesus, not to me! Get your hands off of me! Get off of me! Gosh. Oh, you don't even know what you're celebrating! You're celebrating your doom! Wake up! They're lying to your fucking faces! The great beyond is bullshit! Why isn't anybody listening to me? Hey, buddy, are you all right? No, I'm not all right. It's all a lie. Everything you've been told. Everything you believe in.
Hey, Honey Mustard, you acting cray-cray!
Carl, we shouldn't even be talking to this asshole. Everyone knows Honey Mustard's weird. I mean, what is he? Honey? Is he mustard? It's like, make up your mind or just kill yourself.
You fucking idiots! I've been there. I've seen that shit in there. Ain't no way I'm going back. Wait. You've been to the great beyond? Great my asshole! Everything we've ever known is a dirt-covered pile of shit. Jacking off in our fucking faces. Covering our eyes with their cum. So cum-covered we can't fucking see! We don't know! We don't know they're jerking off into our eyes! Our faces!
Dude, shut up!
Alright, whose fault is it this week? Do we have a sheet?
Yes. Yes, we do. We know exactly whose fault it is. Please speak up. Hi, I'm your host, Ilyon. This is my friend and co-host, Boix. And this is my not friend and special guest, Juker.
Hey, what's up?
Let us...
I'm responsible for this, unfortunately.
Why?
And boy, do I regret it.
Why? Why did you do
man.
this?
I forget what I was playing at the time. I think I was going through the Elden Ring co-op, I want to say. And I was thinking to myself, oh man, yeah, this has a dog in it. That would be a great movie for Rough
Sausage Party, yeah.
I remember working during this in 2016 at a movie theater, and it was awful.
To be fair, Rotten Tomatoes said this movie had laugh to gag ratio that was very high, and also was extremely thought provoking. So
yeah. I to be fair, my laughs to my gag.
I was gagging a lot. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah. No. Anyway, this is a podcast where we watch movies about dogs, supposedly, and then we rate the dogs at the end.
Can we just rate them now? We already
it's
know.
It's not gonna be a good rating this time. Let's put that out there. We originally actually had Sausage Party on our backlog list, and I remember like a year ago I deleted it. And I said explicitly to Ilyon, we are not watching Sausage Party.
And I said, yeah, why would we? There's no dogs in it. And you're like, well, hot dogs. And you're always the one that makes the stupid goddamn jokes about fake dogs.
Yeah.
And then you were like, well, but it's not worth it for this.
But here we are.
Hi, Juker.
Somehow I convinced them. I mean, I was also partially responsible for Strays, so I guess, you know what?
Yeah, that's true.
I take responsibility for this.
That's true. So I don't know where to start with Sausage Party. I guess so. It's an Annapurna film.
Mm-hmm.
They're the studio that did Her. That did Nimona recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wiener Dog was the same year. We haven't watched Wiener Dog yet. I think that one actually has Danny DeVito in it.
Probably.
But they've also put out some stuff recently that we probably won't be watching, like Night Bitch. That's coming out
Night
soon.
Bitch is a good name.
But
it doesn't look like a good movie.
It doesn't look like a good movie, unfortunately. Not for us, anyways.
And I don't think that it fits the... Yeah.
So this movie has an 83% fresh rating from critics.
Yes.
From critics.
They're talking about the food. Not the movie, right?
I'm talking Rotten Tomatoes. None of the food in this movie is fresh. No. Everything in this movie is 20 years out of date. Easily. It should have been taken out and thrown into the dumpster already, but they're still on the shelf.
What about the non-perishables though? Like fire water, you know?
Oh, it should have perished. It should have perished.
Would you like to explain fire water, Juker? You can take that if you'd like.
The eldest foods that exist are there's a council of food, I guess is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 people that are non-perishable foods. Fire water, he's Fireball Whiskey, but what if he was a Native American voiced by Bill Hader? There's the grits and a Twinkie, and you'll never guess he's a twink.
Yeah, but he's not like Legend of Zelda Link twink. You know, it's not the good kind. It's the racist kind.
But they're immortal, so they know everything about the world. The truth.
It's so frustrating. It almost feels like this movie has ideas. It almost feels like it has ideas.
It does. I think that's the worst part of it.
It does have ideas.
They're fucking bad.
Yes, it's terrible.
And stupid as shit, but it's so close to having an actual idea of what it's trying to say.
So, when we were going through this, I quickly realized exactly what the ideas were and why it's got a good rating from critics and why I really hate it.
Yeah, I could agree.
This is like when somebody bashes a metaphor over your head. That's the most obvious thing ever.
Yeah, what this is Seth Rogen. The idea is baby's first atheist movie. That's what this is. This is if you're 14 and you're like, you know what? Religion's bullshit, man. Yeah, fuck that. And you just are constantly swearing and thinking that makes you really cool, and that just rejecting religion is this incredible philosophical viewpoint. Boy, do I have a movie for you, because that's what this movie is. This movie is, I'm smarter and cooler than everybody else because I can swear and I don't believe in religion anymore.
You need to be that, but
you
also need a chain wallet.
Because when I was working in a movie theater for this, all the 14-year-olds who tried to sneak into this movie were just like, whoa, that's a penis!
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it? I can't wait for my mom to drop me off so the 10 of us can go see the movie. Oh, it's gonna be so funny. We're gonna talk about it for years.
Hey, I'm not religious, but also that's just like the very first point of a philosophy.
Yeah, but
it's not the end.
But the people that would be making that point wouldn't want, Richard Dawkins isn't going to see this movie and be like, I saw a man on the street saying you didn't need money, you needed a hoe. What did that mean? You know, it's for nobody.
That man really needed a living Lizzie.
Is because it's totally this idea of, again, oh, well, it's super fucking raunchy, but also, oh man,
it'll make your brain think. Do you get it?
I think part of it is also the fact that every adult cartoon makes it a big point that it's an adult cartoon. It's like, this has never been done before, and I've heard that so many times that this has never been done before. Never have we ever done an adult cartoon, a 3D animated movie like this for adults that's a cartoon. This is the first time ever, and you'll never see something fuck like this.
I've never seen heavy metal.
No. I think the biggest problem with this is that the assumption is that cartoons are for kids, first of all, is the first wrong assumption.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I hate that.
And the second thing is, just because it's 3D animated doesn't mean it's going to be original or, it's a good idea. It's nothing. You're starting
It's absolutely nothing.
You're starting at, I'm going to make an animation. What are you going to do? I'm going to make it 3D. Motherfucker, they've been doing that shit since the 80s. You're not doing anything new.
No. Yeah.
Or interesting. Right?
And it's a 2016 movie, and the idea of it being 3D CG animated, it's like, okay, That's now 20 years old. Like, welcome to Reboot on YTV.
It does look about as good as Food Fight, I will say.
No,
yeah, is this better than Food Fight? I don't know.
Okay, I will. It looks worse than Food Fight. Not by much. Not by much.
I think it is worse, yeah.
But it is a worse movie than Food Fight.
Agreed.
Also that.
Having seen Food Fight years ago, it's pretty bad, but I at least got a good chuckle watching it, which is important.
This movie also doesn't have the old Aunt Jemima bottle.
Well, I mean, the problem with this is when you look at the two movies, you look at like the ratio of how long the movie is to how much Hitler is in it, and there's way more Hitler in Food Fight, so therefore it's a better.
I don't know. There was a lot.
There. Yeah.
There was a lot of Nazis in Food Fight. They were just Brand X, but they were there.
There's a fair bit of actual fucking Hitler in this movie.
There's literal actual.
Yeah, the sauerkraut. I think it was.
It was sauerkraut.
He's just Hitler.
Oh god.
Voice is taking off his glasses and is rubbing his eyes.
This movie has. Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking racism in Sausage Party.
This is probably one of the most racist movies I've seen in a long time, and I don't remember that from when I used to work at a movie theater. I remembered it was pretty racist at times, but like, oh, you know, it's a adult cartoon. They're gonna do that, but no, it's like every second there's something really racist on screen, and it's like you can't avoid any racism in this movie. I think every frame of this movie has something racist going on.
Whenever a scene ends, it's going to transition into some other stereotype you haven't seen yet.
It has... I think that Chili Dogs, personally, is still a more offensive movie for its racism. But it's fucking
It was more
close.
mean-spirited. Chili Dog was way more mean-spirited, and Juker hasn't seen Chili Dogs. And
no, but I saw your episode
Chili
of
Dogs.
Do not see Chili Dogs.
I'm not going to.
It was way more mean-spirited. This is not mean-spirited. This is just, haha, look, we're being racist.
But it has way more racism in it. Like, way more racism.
Way more.
As in, like Juker was saying, and you were both saying, it fills every scene. Every scene is racism. Like, honestly,
I'm not exaggerating. Yeah,
one of the frustrating thing about this is, like you were saying, it has the core of an idea where you could actually have this philosophical concept, and like use a metaphor of these food items going out into, because they all believe that there is a great beyond. So when they leave the doors of the supermarket, that they're going to ascend to this other level of existence, and then they find out that, oh wait, actually we're all gonna die because we get eaten. And you could have the philosophical core of a concept there, but they also decide that, like, hey, you know what we should do? What if, like, every food item was exactly that stereotype of that culture? Why?
Yeah.
Why does that have to be involved in this concept? It doesn't.
No.
You know what's wild about this movie is that there is a surprising amount of Middle Eastern commentary, and it almost works.
No,
it doesn't.
I don't
It doesn't.
You can't say it almost works when they're eating each other's assholes
not.
at the end of the film. No.
Yeah, I don't think it almost works.
Believe me, I was about to mention that. I was gonna be like, it almost works up until the ass eating.
What about the Lavash also talking about how he wishes that Kirsten Wiig's Bun character would cover up like an honorable woman, and he will go to heaven and get 77 extra virgin olive oils.
Oh god, you know the worst part was when he did like the really racist suicide bomber chanting.
The Team America World Police. Like, yeah, God.
That was probably the most racist thing.
Thanks, David Krumholtz. Also, by the way, David Krumholtz, Jewish. So, yes, more like brownface. Excellent. American Jewish man. Yeah.
They have multiple... For how much they talk about near the end of this, we're like, maybe we should all not be doing stereotypes of each other for cheap laughs. They sure are just doing stereotypes of each other for cheap
laughs.
Not even laughs. Just
I can't remember a single joke in the movie. I'm gonna be honest, other than like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you hard, because I'm penis shaped.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is just that it is filthy, filthy, filthy. But like, again, in a 14-year-old way. It's as if. Like, have any of these people, Edward Norton, Seth Rogen, David Krumholtz,
have they had sex?
Have any of them ever had sex?
Is that your
any
question?
of these people ever seen genitals in their lives?
I don't think so.
I saw it on a screen once. Does that count? I mean,
like it's wild to sit here and be like, wait, do they get how sex works? Do they know what a douche even is? Like they have a douche as a character in this so that they can have a douche because
it's like the main villain technically.
He's named douche.
I guess. And he's also like a jock bro, like a gym rat. Bro, what up, bro?
He's like, yo, bro, it's me, douche. I was gonna get up in that.
Because they have a rape scene.
They sure do.
Explicit.
That sure existed.
That sure is a thing that they wrote and then animated and then voiced.
And thought was funny.
As a comedic moment. That's true. Great. I'm sorry, I remember somebody saying, it was a critic, that this is thought-provoking. And it's hilarious.
Yeah, you remember, he was dying, so his juice was leaking out everywhere, so,
No, I remember.
It's thought-provoking.
It provoked a lot of thoughts in me. Mostly, why am I doing this on a Sunday morning? Why did TheJewker hate us?
It all goes back to Strays.
Never do this episode.
They can't pick, they had to pick all the worst shit to talk about, too, because they're talking about, the Middle East conflict. They're talking about illegals, in America, because they wanted to talk about Mexicans and
that was
salsa.
That was just a one-off joke. That was a
that was a one-off joke that didn't matter. They brought it up for one thing, and that was kind of it.
But why bring it up at all?
It was the douche comes into the Mexican food aisle and goes, "Oh, I'm among all these illegal foods," which doesn't even make sense in the context of their own fucking universe, other than to just be racist.
It was just racist, yeah. I don't understand what they were trying to do or where to go. I don't think the plot matters, by the way. I don't.
No, the plot doesn't matter. It's just food is real and alive.
So, the plot of this movie is, you can sum it up very quickly. The plot of the movie is they're all going to ascend. They all think they're going to ascend to heaven. Seth Rogen finds out that that's not true and has to explain to them that they're not going to, and then they have to fight off the humans. There's the small side plot of the douche bottle decides to be evil because he almost dies, and then they kill the douche bottle. That's it.
Yeah, that really is the entire plot. The only thing that we left out is that humans can't see that food or other stuff too, like semen-filled condoms, used toilet paper, and am I forgetting anything else? No? Apparently...
No, I think it's just those.
I think it's just that. Yeah, their universe makes no sense. Like, why doesn't shoes talk when they had the shoe on the street?
We don't know, but apparently, if you do bath salts, because this was 2016, remember bath salts?
Uh-huh. Yeah, bath
then
salts,
you go so crazy that you see that food really is moving and real and talking.
They had to do a Mentos Diet Coke death too as a joke because it was 2016, I guess. But that doesn't even make sense.
Thing? I thought that was like a
that's like an early YouTube joke. That is 2008 or 2007. That is not.
Everything's dated in this. Everything is 10 years older than it should be.
It is.
I'm wondering, when did they start writing this movie? That's my curiosity.
He started writing this movie right about.
We can't blame this on weed. Weed's too good for this movie.
I made a joke that he was smoking something. It doesn't have to be weed.
I seem to remember though when this was coming out, I was talking about this with a lot of coworkers at the time at the movie theater, and I want to say that due to issues with the animators not getting paid, which was a big part of this movie.
Yep.
I think this got delayed a bit, but also I want to say that part of it was like the script also got leaked at one point, and they didn't change anything in the script, by the way. It's basically all the same thing.
Yeah.
They to elaborate on that, so Annapurna did not pay their employees. I think it's because of who they were working with, didn't pay them for the overtime of their employees while they were working on getting this out. So the employees were like, you have to pay us for your fucking overtime. This is ridiculous. We're not doing all this extra time to get this
for Sausage
awful
Party.
garbage out. And I think they either threatened to sue or did sue to actually get that pay.
I think they did.
God.
So it's like, there's also that bullshit going on. Which, in modern times, Annapurna is having a ton of issues, at least in their video game department. I assume their movie department's not doing great either.
No, probably
based on
not.
that. So it's like, everything about this feels filthy, but not in like an adult humor way. just in like a, I need to take a shower after seeing this way. You know, like just stand in the shower, water's going over your head, it's too hot, but you don't want to change it. You're like, I'm just going to stand here for an hour and stare.
Well, you need it to be too hot so you can scour your skin a little bit.
So you can feel something?
Yeah.
Yeah? God.
Yeah, it turns out that, so there were 83 animators. I was just looking this up. And
83?
Yeah,
That's
and
so many.
36 of them were blacklisted and uncredited because they complained. And so then later on, the British Columbia Employment Standards Branch said, you guys have to actually pay them for their overtime, you motherfuckers. Because they threatened, when they said you have to work unpaid overtime or we will blacklist you from the industry and you'll never work again.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
I think we were saying this is also Meatloaf's, one of his last movies.
Yes, this is one of the last things Meatloaf did.
It's just archival sound.
The audio.
Yeah, it's just archival audio. Meatloaf is
You'll
not
never guess
actually in it.
who Meatloaf is, though. He's a meatloaf.
Yeah, he's a bunch of meat, ground meat with
In a loaf.
ingredients in a loaf shape with ketchup on top.
And then he goes, I would do anything for love. That's it. That's the joke.
This man was a major character in Rocky Horror Picture Show. And pretty good at singing in that movie.
He was pretty good at singing in this because they used archival footage.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works.
I'm double checking. This is technically the last movie with Meatloaf in it. 2016.
Right. Technically? What does the technically mean?
Well, because it's archival.
Because he's not in the movie. His last
it.
actual movie was in 2014.
Because he didn't do any new recording for this. They just took his voice.
So there is that. This is also the last movie with Stephen Hawking in it, so that's...
Suck my pink cock.
I'm so glad that Stephen Hawking didn't actually have his voice
Did
taken
Sausage
for this.
Party kill Stephen Hawking?
Maybe.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Can you imagine if the gum would have been part of the orgy scene at the end of the movie? Which, by the way, there's a massive orgy scene at the end.
Yeah,
there's
looking
like
at the
a
end.
5-minute orgy scene, something like that. I didn't go back and time it. I wanted to, but got distracted.
So yeah, this movie just for no reason at all ends with like a... There were 15 minutes left in the movie, which includes credits. So you could say 10 minutes. Of which of that, I would say over half. It's got to be more than 5. It's like 7 minutes of just orgy.
It's just, there's no jokes. It's just, let's all have sex.
And then, for some reason, it decides to break the fourth wall. And just be like, hey, you want somebody to blame for this fucking trash? Here's Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen's a fucking idiot.
Seth Rogen fucking sucks. Here's Edward Norton.
What a fucking idiot.
And then they all go through a portal to become their human selves instead of being food.
Specifically a Stargate, which I don't think they had the legal rights to use, but...
Probably not.
Which, like, so does that mean that all of their racism and stuff that they've done throughout this movie is then embodied in their physical forms in this real world now? So we can
So,
just blame them
if you want to
directly.
think about it, Seth Rogen is a writer of this.
Oh, yeah.
This movie.
Oh, he
also
did?
an
Oh,
actor.
I didn't know that.
And at the end of the movie, he is also going into his human self. So it kind of loops back on itself, which means yes, that Seth Rogen that we know is also this racist.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Right.
The movie explains that canonically, that is just Seth Rogen's opinions and thoughts about human beings. This is a very negative episode, I'm noticing.
It is.
It really
it's hard
is.
not to be, because there's nothing to talk about. Because the things that we can talk about is like, what are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about the scene where the douche is chasing down the buns, and the two Middle Eastern caricatures, really, not characters. They don't have anything other than the characters.
They don't have anything other than, like, I'm the Middle East. I'm the
Sammy Bagel Jr.
Yeah.
And God, Kareem Abdul-Lavash. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, that's literally the names. Like when they go into a Mexican cantina and Selma Hayek is there as a taco, and the douche...
She's a hard-shelled taco.
Yeah, and then the douche comes in and then, like, shoots the nuts off of the El Guac character by stabbing it with a bottle of tequila that is that both of them are voiced by white Bill Hader. Like, what are we gonna talk about there? What's the fucking, like, what do we do? What do you do with that? It's just racism. It's just racism. That's all you
scene
can do.
Almost had one of the only chuckles out of me, because the guacamole gets hit in the nuts and he goes, ow, right in my guac and balls. And that, that almost works as a joke.
Guac and balls is almost a joke. It's close.
The funniest
delivery
joke
is not there
in the movie was there's a part where at a certain point, I think it's douche is like, hey, okay, so what's gonna happen here? And then a cheese comes out and he's like, yo, what's up?
A queso, yeah.
He's,
okay, so what's gonna happen here? Queso?
I did have that as a note where I'm like, queso, because we're all like, wait, is that a joke? Did they do a joke? Is it an actual
They did
joke?
one funny joke, and it's about the cheese.
Funny joke. Yeah. Generously.
Okay, so...
What did someone say, queso?
And this is something that they wrote down. Like, if you write this down in a script, you're like, okay, so we're going to do this, and then
whoa, wait a minute, that's a word play. We could do that. Write that down. That's a great idea.
Stage left, queso. What? But when you do it, their delivery is not that. Their delivery is, okay, so we're gonna do this, and then just out of nowhere, hey, somebody say queso? I'm queso. Hey, what's up? And it's just like, it's the fucking worst way to deliver a joke. And they assume you're stupid as hell. I have to.
They absolutely.
Like, imagine. And technically, if you're going to see Sausage Party, you're probably stupid as hell. Only an idiot would wake up at 9 a.m. on a Sunday with their friends and watch Sausage Party.
Yeah, who would do that? Yeah. Haha.
Friends
real...
being generous. Friends don't do this to friends.
Look, this is just Veggie Tales for fuckers, okay?
It is. It's even got the religious part of it, so you're not wrong.
I'm trying to think the other
even had the musicals.
Honestly, that is 100% one of the inspirations.
What if Seth Rogen got really high while watching VeggieTales one day and said, I could turn this into something way raunchier.
What if I made nasty VeggieTales? Well, and that's so much of what it is. Like, when I was saying, like, when I was 14 and I was mad at my parents for making me go to church, this is basically the movie that you want, right? Like, it's like,
absolutely.
Fuck religion, ha ha ha, what if I'm really nasty just to be nasty? And that's what this is. This is Seth Rogen's 14-year-old, like, masturbatory fetish.
Revenge against his parents for taking him to temple.
Even when I was in college and I was having these conversations with other people as a like fuck religion atheist.
Yeah.
I don't think I was this fucking annoying.
No, I don't think I.
So
I would
I'm
hope
like-
that I was never this bad. I would hope I was
Yeah.
never this bad.
Yeah.
But like, it would be embarrassing looking back at it and being like, man, at 14, I was like really awful
Yeah.
in that way. Like, where because it's just stupid. Like,
But Seth Rogen's like 40.
but he's
so...
Like the
Yeah.
Was he 40 when this came out?
I wouldn't be.
It's only
surprised if
been
he's
8
older.
years.
He's probably like
Yeah.
50
I
now.
was gonna say, like, honestly,
Let's find out.
I need to know. Yeah.
Oh, he's
like-
42 now? He was in his 30s then.
Oh, was he really only that young? Wow.
Yeah,
That
I
doesn't
guess.
seem right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does say he's 42 though. All right, okay.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. All right. So he
So-
would have been 36. But like that's
still way immature for
embarrassing.
where you
That is-
are. Yeah, right.
I mean, I would have, like I said, it's embarrassing if you're like 16 and this is what you'd come up with.
The other movie this reminds me of the most, and I only watched this because my parents turned it on when they were visiting, and they had literally nothing to watch, and they were bored, was Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
This reminds me a lot of Tropic Thunder, especially with the blackface bullshit
Mm-hmm.
that happened in that movie.
Yeah.
And that movie is just the same level of just constant noise, and none of it's funny.
I
And
think
a
the
lot
only
of it's
part of Tropic
racist.
Thunder that I liked was the trailers. The fake trailers is probably the best part of that movie.
Maybe? The thing about a trailer is that it can cut out a lot of the stupid racist, like, filler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just looks like a parody movie.
I'll say, I think that, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that Tropic Thunder is great or anything. It doesn't get a pass. But, like, at least in Tropic Thunder, when they're doing the blackface and everything, they're trying to come across at the point. I'm not saying I agree with that point. I'm not saying that point's good or well made, but at least there's a reason for it. In this, it's totally senseless. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason for the food to be their cultures other than, wouldn't it be funny if we could then use this as an excuse to be super racist to every single culture that has a food?
All the Chinese food has to have, like, the rice picker hats, all the...
And like squinty eyes, I'm pretty sure
Squinty
they're
eyes.
Yes,
I'm
and they did
sure.
like the, you know, they immediately start playing strings of music whenever they show up, and like they had them when they were doing the dance at the beginning of the movie. They had them in like a yin and yang, like Buddhist symbols.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
Oh
true.
yeah, which I guess
yep.
I guess that's something to mention is at the start of every day, not in the movie, just every day, they sing the same song in the supermarket, talking about how great God is.
Yes,
They're just like, oh,
Not even
God's so good.
Cat sings that much about the heavy side layer, like, you know.
Yeah.
Come on.
This
I'm
is
wondering-
us gonna be so mad the whole time. This is
I'm wondering
mad
if
the
this
episode.
They could have made this a full musical.
They
let me
could've.
talk about
Maybe
how
that
they
would've
could
been better.
improve this. How could you improve this? One, get rid of the racism. Two,
Absolutely.
they could have just made it a full musical and not gone half-assed on it with a single song.
Also, maybe just cut out the human stuff, because like
they wanted to kill some people as a joke.
Like,
I
who
guess,
cares?
but-
There's the manager is a character barely. It's Paul Rudd, and he's just like, "Oh, you fucking douche," you know, like, this woman's a MILF. Fuck her."
But how
Oh,
else,
there's-
how else
there's
would
something
you
up my
have
butthole.
Dark Lord Paul Rudd say to a woman in the supermarket, "Hey man, you MILF. This MILF spilled her douche in aisle 3," and she goes, "Oh man, you called me a MILF. How cool!" And that woman's name is Camille Toe.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is not mentioned in the movie, but it is in the script. Which when I read the leak years ago, I was reminded of that as you told me that earlier. I was like, "Oh my god, you're right. That is really her name."
How else could you fit in such clever, cool, incredible writing?
They couldn't work it into the plot that her name was Camille Toe.
I don't know what they were thinking at all at any time. But, like...
My problem is any attempt that we get to make this movie better, you know what happens, right?
Racism?
No, it immediately... No, because it's to
No,
make the movie better.
we're making it better, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The minute that you try and look at this movie and you go, okay, well, like, you want a philosophical, raunchy comedy that's about existentialism and death, you immediately make everything everywhere all at once.
That one even has a bagel.
Yes, you immediately land on Everything Everywhere All at Once, an actual fantastic movie that goes deeper than just like, hey, religion's fucking bullshit, huh?
I got a question for you then. Do you think that the people who saw this movie decided, fuck this, we can make a way better movie, and made Everything Everywhere All at Once? Do you think at some point they might have just been like, you know what?
Oh no.
This is almost like good at something, because I don't know if that's the case, but
no,
you're right. It absolutely is kind of the same thing.
It's the same thing, but done by people that are mature. And I say that knowing that those are the people that did Swiss Army Man, a movie about a farting corpse that he rides off into the sunset.
You can't
like a movie.
Surfboard.
I need to point out, for anybody who hasn't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, there's a scene where characters are talking in an office, and there's just an award for being the best person of the month or whatever on somebody's desk, and it very much looks like a butt plug.
Yes,
but nobody is talking about it being a butt plug. So you're like, oh, maybe I'm just like extrapolating something.
Yes,
and then later on, there's a fight scene, like a action martial arts scene against a bunch of characters, and something happens that causes that butt plug to give you powers, but only if you insert it up your ass.
Yes.
So there is now a fight between characters to insert this butt plug up their butt.
It's genius.
It's one of the best scenes in the movie.
Well, because we watched a movie last week that has a dildo fight in it. But the problem is that one is a dildo fight where you use the dildo to hit the other person or to hurt them. It's so good. Like, the twist of, we have a dildo fight in this movie, and it's like, oh, okay, so you're gonna be slapping each other. It's like, no. You have to shove the dildo up yourself to get the superpowers. And
they have to try and stop each other from doing that.
Yes, and you have to stop each other from shoving the butt plug up your own ass.
It's so funny.
Such an incredible twist on that dumb, like, raunchy, garbage way of doing things that it's genius. That movie is fantastic. And on top of that, it has an actual emotional core. Like, the emotional core of this movie is Seth Rogen has a girlfriend, and the emotional core of it is not like, oh, they're together and they really love each other. It's, well, they're not allowed to fuck and they really want to fuck. And that's why the end of the movie is an orgy, because it doesn't go deeper than that.
Oh, you're saying
it gets
like,
pretty deep. I don't know.
It's pretty deep.
It does get pretty deep. Yeah,
are you saying it's like the whole movie is just welling up to this moment, and then there's just like a sudden release? Is what you're saying at the end? Like some sort of I don't know,
like a climax in a movie.
A climax of
like
a
story
film.
climax.
Yeah, Seth Rogen, he wanted them all to come, to the party.
Yeah, to go watch Sausage Party.
Yeah. And the hit new TV series.
We're talking around it more than the movie does, where in the first 3 minutes, I remember one of the they have a child character, one of the kid foods go I can't wait for God to come all over my face and tits. They have there's no subtlety to any of this.
It's not funny when the joke is just come. That's not a joke. That's not funny. It's
not.
And I mean, I guess they're trying to make almost like an Aristocrats thing, right?
Oh, that is giving them way too much.
No, I know, but that's not. But even the Aristocrats, the point is ultimately that there is actually a point to the Aristocrats, which is that you then subvert it as well, there was never a joke. You just listen to all of this shit for no reason, which is in its way subversive. But there's just nothing like that even here. There's just nothing. It's nothing but racism. And also, oh God, all the jokes are stupid things like peanut butter and jam are there and they're married. But the peanut butter jar's name is Butt Nutter. Huh, because butt. Or then you have all of the nuts and fruits across from each other, and it's oh, you're a nut job, and it's well, you're a fruit, and all the fruit are gay, and that's the joke, is that the fruit are gay.
It's very it's definitely very heterosexual, straight
coded
coded. Absolutely. Yeah. It's also very, I don't know, Midwest coded.
Yeah.
It's something.
I think that goes again to my point of this is the 14-year-old rebellion against their parents about having to go to, like you said, temple or church, because it's totally, oh, I hate all of this religious bullshit and like I reject that culture, while at the same time not realizing that all of the jokes and everything that they're doing is a reflection of how they were brought up in that culture and in that mindset, because all of it is so
and that's why when I was growing up I only rebelled against going to Golden Corral.
But man, you can get all the food. Like,
it's all you can eat steak, and it's all garbage. It's all bad.
We didn't have Golden Corral where I lived.
Well,
Now
like,
I feel left out.
How's the weather?
Oh man, how's the weather? Wow, how's it going? Gonna be a hot day.
Gonna be a hot one. Yeah. We're making great references about the training video.
I love that training video. That's a great one.
You catch the game last
night? The guy just
night?
awkwardly trying to make small talk.
Yeah. You should try that one. It's my favorite. Love that stupid video.
Yeah, I'll take that one. It's my favorite. That's the Hitler sauerkraut.
Why did they need so much Hitler? Why did they make Hitler make a point in this movie?
They should have just made Hitler the main villain at that point if they were just going to keep showing him.
If you're going to put him in at all.
Right.
Yeah, like...
Food Fight did that.
Yes,
Food Fight did that.
Make Hitler the bad guy.
Well, hold up. Sausage Party is basically telling you, well, I mean, he might not be the bad guy. I mean, he's food after all.
It's the humans.
Which, that's coming from Seth Rogen who wrote this.
The gods are the real
Hitler
problem.
Hitler is literally one of the oppressed minority that's going to get killed, and he has to help rise up with everyone else. That's part of the plot, yes.
I'm trying to figure out if they knew that when they were writing it. I don't think they did, but...
I think they did. And they did it anyway.
Was this a good moneymaker for movie theaters?
Yes.
Did they sell enough popcorn and tickets?
No, this was the highest grossing R-rated animated film of all time. It made like $120 million.
It was high grossing, but people, from my experience seeing this firsthand, were very, very pissed coming out. They would always come out really angry. Like, sure, they've already seen the movie.
Sure,
they already paid. Yeah, they don't care.
They made their money.
But most of it, from what I saw, a lot of people saw this movie. A lot of it was, 14-year-olds sneaking in because they were rebellious. You'd basically get three kinds of teenagers. Teenagers who are going to sneak in. Teenagers who... their mom bought 10 or 15 tickets and dropped them off, which you're not allowed to do. If you do that, you're going to be kicked out. So I had a lot of fun doing that with Sausage Party and telling people to go away. It's not even worth seeing.
You saved them.
And
yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
And the third one is...
Why did you save them but not us?
Because you do a podcast about shitty movies... and you didn't pay anything. Well, actually, one of you did.
Well, no, we did pay. That's the problem. We did pay.
Only one of you paid.
Technically, they made $120 million and $4.
I was actually wrong. Yeah, the box office on this is supposedly $141.3 million on a budget of only $19 million, which explains why it looks so bad.
It looks like shit.
It does look really bad.
But so this movie exists for marketing. It exists for a poster that shows a wiener in the shape of a
penis
cock.
That's a little limp.
And that's the whole reason this movie exists. It's not to say anything. It's not to be introspective about religion and how we treat the world. It's not to make raunchy jokes. It barely makes raunchy jokes.
No,
it just says dick and cum and fart and piss.
It's about
that's
dicks.
Not a joke.
It's about cum. It's about doing bath salts.
So it only exists for marketing. It's to put a poster on the wall that looks like a penis, and then to trick people into going to it.
You know what's wild about this movie, though, now that you say that out loud? They didn't bother with any licensed foods being in this movie.
Yeah, they didn't. Well, I wouldn't want to be associated with this.
I wouldn't either. That's a weird choice. But also, like, they didn't even try. There's probably some really raunchy food out there
Four
that they're like,
Loco
"We can
would
get
have
away with
gone
this."
for it.
Four
Loco
Loco,
would've
yeah,
gone
I
for
can
it.
see Four Loco doing that. This somehow, in 2024, the year that this has been recorded, there was recently a sequel follow-up animated series.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to get a second season, because of course it is. I don't really understand why so many years later this is getting a sequel, because again, it's not a movie. It's an animated series on, I don't know, Netflix.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
But the thing about, so the series doesn't need to be good. Let's say the series is much lower budget than the movie, because you're gonna get less of the same actors. You're gonna have the same animation from 8 years ago, so you don't need to make new.
Pretty
assets,
much, it's not any different,
right?
I mean,
so you only make what, 8-10 episodes. You put it out on a streaming service. You also don't have to pay theater fees.
That is true.
So at that point, you're only dealing with a couple million, maybe, to send this thing out, and you don't need to make that much to make money on it back. So all you have to do is be like, hey, remember Sausage Party? And nobody does.
Nobody does.
It's been 8 years.
8 years, and then also, people probably blocked out all the really racist stuff, because I feel like people would talk about this movie more and be like, remember that really racist food movie?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, the other thing is, too, you've got to think, I'm thinking about it, and I bet that their audience for trying to put it onto Amazon Prime, it's the same thing. You just get the poster of, like, a sausage going into a bun. Whoa, isn't that funny? And also, it's like, oh, you got all the 14-year-olds that snuck into theater, and now they're 22.
They can just do it at home,
on
yeah.
it, and they're barely...
I'm old enough to watch this now. Was this any good? No, it wasn't.
But maybe they're trying to get the audience that wants to watch The Expanse to watch this. You never know.
Maybe. Now, what I find interesting, though, so between...
pisses off every sci-fi fan in existence.
I like I like 3 seasons of The Expanse. I don't like The Expanse.
Between waiting for them to get back so we could record this, I did watch a bit of the first episode, and it's really interesting that the movie ends with them going into a portal into the real world, and, you know, I guess the hot dog becomes Seth Rogen. That, I guess, got dropped, because of course it was, because they wanted to do an animated series, so they just skip forward, and they've taken over the world. All food is now sentient and able to kill humans, and essentially they are, what's the best way to put this? They've started a society, and they're using teeth as currency. It's
Fallout. Okay, yeah, like
yeah,
the Fallout
it's like, you know, they use the bottle caps from the humans. You know,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh my god, they got back Edward Norton.
Yeah, they got back Edward Norton. The Lavash, Kareem Abdul-Lavash, he's dead. He just died in between. So, like, I assume they didn't get the actor back.
No,
and
he's in it. I actually just
he's in it.
He is
what?
in it.
God,
who is he?
I don't know, but it says that it has him in there.
Interesting.
It says that it has him reprise his role, so I guess that he must come back somehow.
Because he's dead. Like, he's just straight up dead immediately.
That must be a twist, because it says that he's in there reprising his role. Basically, they got almost the entire cast back.
Bill Hader, I guess, realized it was a bad choice.
They have to have something better to do with their time.
They got Bill Hader. Bill Hader left because Bill Hader actually was like, "Wait, I'm doing Barry, an actually like thought-provoking, interesting, and still like very, very hard to watch show."
Unlike Barry, Michael Cera in this movie. Anyways, I guess that's Sausage Party. Let's just rate the damn dogs. I don't want to talk about sausage.
I don't want to talk about food, Hitler, and racism anymore.
So there's
you don't want to hear about the TV show with the orange that leads the government, and a grain of rice crawls up his ass to control the government. No.
Is that the Angry Orange? Is that what Angry Orange is doing now?
If I'm going to talk about something crawling up somebody's ass, I'm going to talk about how the douche goes up the ass of the employee who grabs a gun so that he can control him with his scrotum.
Oh,
via
that reminds me. We didn't We didn't talk about the when he shoots himself in the face and he's perfect.
Why did they do that? They fucked up the animation there. They had to have.
They had to have. He shoots himself directly in the face.
Directly in the face, and he's okay.
He's fine.
Anyways, the dogs. There's Frank, who's Seth Rogen. Fuck him. 0 out of 10. That's my rating for Frank.
All of the dogs deserve to be thrown away. They don't deserve to go to the great beyond. They deserve the trash.
Yeah, the other
None of these dogs are hot. They're all chili dogs, and I'm going to rate them in they're chili dogs out of 10.
So you're going to rate them as
that movie.
You're going to rate them as a Sonic saying that's no good out of 10.
Yes.
Okay. Barry is the other dog, I guess. That's Michael Cera. He is a rolling around on the floor covered in filth out of 10.
Yeah.
That is my rating. Yeah.
There was also Carl, who was Jonah Hill.
That's Jonah Hill, and, well, I mean, you know.
Yeah. We know all about Jonah Hill now, don't we?
Well, anyway, that was Sausage Party. That was an excellent time. Thank you so much, TheJewker.
Yeah. Tune in next time as we watch Get Him to the Greek, the most dated movie ever now.
And then we'll watch the Sex in the City movie next. Yeah. Great.
So, do you have anything you'd like to promote, Juker?
Not particularly, because I'm gonna be moving soon on the 1st.
Good, because I wasn't gonna let you, because you don't deserve it after making
You're right. That's part of it too.
I was just gonna cut this because I'm mad at
Wow.
No.
Right? Yeah, I do a lot of retro variety and stuff. We have a good time. We play a lot of different stuff. I'm gonna be starting the spoopy games in a bit since it's October, but I gotta move first, and then after that, I'm probably gonna play a whole bunch of different crazy stuff. One of the games I want to check out, I might even check it out early just because I'm missing a couple days since move is happening. I might start with Dead Rising Wii. Because I'm really curious. Not even because the new game came out last year. Before that got announced, I was like, all right, we played Dead Rising this year. Next year, I want to do the Wii version and try out how different it is. And it's really weird. It's very, very different. It's the best way to describe it is, what if Resident Evil 4 was Dead Rising?
Yeah, it's definitely a different game.
It works. It's really weird, though, but it works.
But that's at twitch.tv/TheJewker.
That is correct.
JEWKER.
Yep. And if you want to support us, you can support us on Patreon at Rough Cuts. You can also email us at roughcutscast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Blue Sky, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what people are using now.
Because everything else is blowing up, apparently.
Everything's dead, I guess.
You could follow on co-host for the next 2 months, maybe, or
2
something?
months? Oh, I'm sorry. It's like a couple days.
Yeah.
I think it's already gone? Okay.
A week,
It's October. I think it goes into archive mode at the start.
Rest in peace. Anyways,
if you feel any pity on us for what Juker submitted us to, Patreon is very nice. Boix and us, we're spending money on these.
This was $4 American. I feel like I should get $4 back.
You could buy a hot dog with that money.
You could buy 2, maybe 3 if you find 50 cents on the ground.
You could even get a bun with that too.
Yeah. I was looking at the suggested movies afterwards, and I think we got a good one for next time. It says here, if you like Sausage Party, you'll love I don't know how to say this.
I believe it's called Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Yeah, well, I mean, Hitler is important to the plot of both these movies, so it does make sense. For fans of Hitler, if you would like to watch good Hitler movies, Sausage Party, Oppenheimer.
That is Sausageheimer? Is it the summer of Sausageheimer?
Can a sausage party really love an Oppenheimer?
Oppen Party almost works.
Okay. I don't want to do it anymore.
What are you even?
What do you mean, what am I, dude? I'm a fucking douche. You know how long I've been waiting up in this motherfucker? I was starting to worry the guys didn't want
this is Nick Kroll.
Look at her. She's a fucking 10, bro.
People that listen to a lot of Eminem probably love this movie.
Oh, honey mustard.